We're here from day 2 of the Aeos Cup, ladies and gentlemen, and this is going to be the first game between Nemesis, there on the top. That's going to be the purple squad, to Gaimin Gladiators, there on the bottom, which is the orange squad. This is going to be the Ready Go. I'm Dr. Kendo, if you like esports-style Pokemon Unite commentary, and by the father of the casting scene in Unite. Yes, please subscribe. We are underway. What you probably have noticed, I'm sure you did because you are all astute viewers, we see Lutano running a response of Greedent to our trio's Greedent right now, who we're spectating. I think it's long been known if you've been watching me, but those who are first-timers, you just gotta know that our trio and Lutano, these are like my 2 favorite Pokemon Unite players. Normally, I personally would have to put caster's bias aside, but hey, we got GG and Nemesis. I mean, these are really my 2 favorite teams of NA, so I would say there's not really a caster's bias in place anyway. So clearly Lutano playing that Greedent, taking some of these wilds just from the central area, which normally trainer LGC would have wanted, of course, playing as that Aegislash. We also see Toon, of course, on Gaimin Gladiators playing Aegislash as well. Lutano trying to make that escape. I mean, you're still beefy even as a Squavin. Maybe not as much as Greedent, but the point still remains. You can have some of those beefy defender tendencies and stuff. Rex, we're gonna see actually, maybe important to point out, but it's obvious there on screen, playing with that Assault Vest. Gonna obviously add to our bulkiness right here and make it a nice escape, somewhat narrow escape we should call it, but we're gonna see in some of these 4, and I guess that was a 9 right there by Zugrug, yes. Playing as that Blissey. You see the hyperspace hole on the goal already. That's by Indy over there for Gaimin Gladiators. Been playing wondrously as that Hoopa, ladies and gentlemen. It has been certainly fun to see Hoopa being played, of course, these days, but for me, it was ever since that patch update, seeing the prevalence of hyperspace hole, that's always been sort of my preferred Hoopa, as well as my preferred Hoopa to spectate. And so I hope the same goes for you, the viewers at home. We are just about to hit that 2 minutes mark on the clock, where 2 minutes have elapsed. Our trio taking the spring jump. Lutano will go ahead and get in this small 5 right now as a Greedent. Certainly score comp being a little bit nerfed and affected by that patch update, but it's still possible, still encouraged to do that Greedent-y thing, which is just to score some of those, especially early on. Smaller point deposits, you know, 5, 10, stuff like that. And so our trio may actually be doing so yes, that's going to be a nice 6 right here for Nemesis early on still. But while we see this battle going on between the 2 swords, that's trainer LGC and Toon right now. It will quickly dissipate, but obviously they'll be going down to the bottom path, and we're going to be looking for 720Bs, but also maybe the mini Dreadnought. And so that mini Dreadnought comes in the form of this Audino that's kind of in the top middle of that bottom path, so we're going to see who will secure that while the bees also go down. We do have the hyperspace hole there as well for anybody that needs it. Rex going to use it. We'll head back with trainer LGC, full HP in hand, but what did they miss out on, you know, during that time? That's the catch-22, of course. You want to heal on up, but are you going to miss out on that 720Bs? And like I said, the mini Dreadnought, but LGC going to go ahead and grab that KO on Wartortle, played by Goof today. Of course, sometimes we've seen Lutano playing the Blastoise, but not when he's answering the Greedent with Greedent. And speaking of Lutano, it'll actually be Lutano's demise right here to our trio at the hand of our Greedent Pioneer. And so she's at level 7, about to be leveling up, and that's also going to include, of course, our Blastoise Mirror right now, which is Yeet Fan, not opting to go for the Decidueye today. And so Dreadnought, that first one down, gonna go to Nemesis. That is left side team, the purple squad. They will secure that. Zug in a little bit of trouble, so actually gonna be going the opposite direction. You know, you'd probably have noticed, you know, the general exodus after a Dreadnought fight. Usually the team that lost that will be heading back maybe to the safety of their goal. You're not just gonna get the XP and everything, but gonna get that extra speed. Our trio will pull down the Berry Belly Flop, ladies and gentlemen, and that's gonna be definitely devastating. As you see, also gonna take down Indie Bear. There's a KO streak of 2 right now, but plenty of Team Nemesis had scored on this goal. Trainer LGC will go ahead and overcap that at 38. It was actually looking like our trio was going to try to score that. I didn't know if our trio would be the one they'd let do it. Of course, you would get 2 more points out of that, so it's not major to opt for that instead, you know, of the 38, of course, for that overdunk. As long as you're just overcapping that, it's looking nice. Relatively closely, we should say. I mean, when you're looking at 40 to 38, of course. Hyperspace holes are down. We're about at the mid-game. Just about to hit 5 minutes on the clock. We got some Combi and Vespiquen going down right now. Good source of XP right at this moment, but we're going to see Nemesis at that 162 to 95 for Gaimin Gladiators. This match is far from over, ladies and gentlemen. Don't let that score fool you, although that is somewhat of a close score anyway, especially when you're talking about people of this high caliber, this high level of gameplay. And you want to talk about this being at the mid-game, I mean, that is a wonderful score to be at right now for a close matchup. So Gaimin Gladiators are surrounding this Rotom. That might be the objective that they're eyeing, of course. We are going to see it go to GG, and just almost for that contest at the last second, Nemesis went for it, attempted the last hit, but they could not last hit that Rotom. So the Berry Belly Flop down from Lutano right now to get into their territory. Nemesis sent on the run. Our trio trying to belch back. It's the battle of the Belchers right there, as you got got both of the Greedents trying to just out-nasty each other. But looking good, though. Both of them going to walk away with their lives still. Hyperspace hole on the goal for Indy right now for GG. Just maybe a little bit of mobility needed to head towards that Dreadnought. And speaking of course, Nemesis will do the same with the Rings Unbound. That's going to be Asnable right there, deploying not just the Rings Unbound, but it comes with that portal. So everybody from Nemesis, all hands on deck, really went for this Dreadnought. But meanwhile, Lutano gonna opt to not come into this fight and will instead go for some of these back caps. So obviously take the Wild Farm in Nemesis's area. Go ahead and dunk in some of these 5, 10s, whatever. Those smaller point values are fine right now. You see what it's done to the score, obviously. But Nemesis, thinking about maybe the long game and thinking about those team fights, it's really, really hard to best Gaimin Gladiators in a team fight. And so I've often said the way to defeat them, you often have to pick off somebody one by one. You know, don't try to go for those team fights. It's usually a tall order. Try to get them spread out and take them on. But Lutano, Zugrug, they will take the hyperspace hole on the goal. That's a phrase around here, of course. Hole on the goal, ladies and gentlemen. And with the hole on the goal, it did allow GG to stop Arch-Ryu. She would have loved to dunk in this 40, but might be just a little bit too tall of an order, I would say. Just the time that it would have taken you to score that, certainly GG able to stop it. So we are going to see that KO as well. It's brought in from your boy Yeet Fan from Nemesis. And so on their behalf, they are still definitely in this matchup. We got the rapid spinning Blastoise heading over to the goal. You're in a bit of precarious territory, you know, when you have some of these full pockets or close to it, these scores of 50, 43, 40, whatever. It certainly is going to take a lot longer to score, and without that score shield being so prevalent in this game, without the buddy barrier stacking with that score shield in any way, the word of the day seems to be tall order, and so that order is just getting taller and taller as those points rack up. We see another Rotom in the stadium right now, Aeos Island. That Rotom started by Arch-Ryu. This is going to be a little bit competitive if GG wants to come back up here and test that. You've got to look at this. Analyze the positioning of GG. You saw where Goof went to. Went to the tall grass, maybe more so closely to Nemesis' side, and then you also had Zugrug on the tall grass on the other side, and look at what's happened. Gaimin Gladiators will take yet another Rotom objective here, and really, it was kind of handed to them for the most part. I mean, Arch-Ryu doing like at least half of that damage, we would say. So that's got to be a little bit painful if you are this purple team right now. Arch-Ryu will go ahead and belch on that. We're going to try to stop this Rotom, really before it gets out of control, right? We don't want it to touch down if we're Nemesis, so clearly they'll get all of GG out of here and then just try to hit this Rotom, take that out of the picture. We do have another Dreadnought, though, there, down at the bottom center. We may be looking at a fight for that, although your time is starting to run out, so if you're going to do that, you got to burst that quick as one of these teams, and so Gaimin Gladiators might be the ones to do it. If you're looking at that mini-map, we see Toon right now. Indy keeping a watchful eye as well, and so that Dreadnought about half. It looks like they can do it, so Lutano looking to join, as well as your good old Blastoise from Goof GG, who will go ahead and secure that right side team. That's Gaimin Gladiators taking that Dreadnought now, just before the final stretch, and that's going to be something that's pretty good for the Gladiators. You see the level differential. It's not too far off. It's just you look at Zug, you know, being like level 10, Indy's at level 11. There is a match, though. Maybe the team fight's going to start already, because sometimes it'll start much closer to that legendary pit, but if you're right here positioned and ready to go, then let's do it. The Showtime. Wonderful name of a Unite move for this moment. Mr. Mime. Goof GG will throw down the Hydro Typhoon, try to pursue Arch-Ryu a little bit, maybe do some of that poking and prodding damage as Arch-Ryu on the run, possibly going to join up with their teammates here at the choke. Notice trainer LGC also trying to send Indy on the run, but he is that Hoopa that's unbound right now. Really, we have both teams, all hands on deck. Who's going to come out on top of this? This is all about the team fight. There it goes. Toon going for the jugular as that sword will bring Asnable out of the picture. You've lost your great support right now, so if you're Nemesis, that is not a pretty sight, right? We're looking at the attempts all over the place, but this Gaimin Gladiators team is definitely keeping Nemesis on their toes. They have to keep sending them back every single time that Nemesis is looking for a way in. Gaimin Gladiators is sending them on the way out. Zapdos poking and prodding everybody as well, saying, hey, if you're going to try to test me, I'm going to zap you, quite literally, we should say. And Arch-Ryu being really brought down right now. You're losing your bulky Greedent. If Art is going to be taken out of this picture, yes, she actually will be. That is devastating right now for Nemesis. We only got 45 seconds left. Can Purple Squad pull off something? There's going to be the coup de grace. Goof GG being brought down pretty low here, but backed up by Toon, who's just a menace with that sword. Aegislash now going to be teleported back to base. They can join in real quickly if they'd like to, but no, they will opt for the super jump, and on that jump pad, they'll bring themselves back to the choke. Gaimin Gladiators now positioned very well, and with that 335, and only one person from Nemesis on the field right now, trainer LGC has his hands full as well. If that sword has hands, it's looking really, really hard, because even then, you would have to score in those 50 that he had, which, by the way, is just not going to happen being KO'd right here. He's out for the rest of the fight and the rest of this match, so with only 10 seconds left, it does not look like Nemesis has a way out, so that's Gaimin Gladiators for game one. Arch-Ryu is going to try for this 21 right now, even being interrupted for that Greedent just definitely the Achilles heel taking taken out, with that score comp definitely being nerfed after that update. And so that, ladies and gentlemen, is the GG. We're gonna go ahead and see the score breakdown coming up very shortly for here, but I think we know who's gonna win that match. Yes, that's gonna be a final score of 162 for Nemesis to 435 for Gaimin Gladiators. Look at Goof GG wearing the crown, absolutely putting in work as that Blastoise. A wonderful display, as we can see, really up to that 8-minute mark. It was just so close, and then Gaimin Gladiators, their end game was just solid. That late and final stretch, really looking nice. We might go ahead and cover game 2. Please click an end screen on screen to see another one, and thanks for viewing.